us to the fight. Pattison Ave, rocking the night. It's the Phanatics Sports Hour. Join the crowd and feel the power.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. Me, as always, my man, Willy Guns.
What's up?
What's up, brother? Another week down in the NFL. Birds, scary.
Very scary.
Scary stuff. But dude, we were on pre-show for an hour, not being able to talk about this game. So
I know.
I'm
Suspense
ready.
was killing me.
I understand. I'm ready to jump in though now. So give me your reasons. Why was this game so close on Sunday?
Poor decisions by Jalen Hurts. He didn't look good, dude. He took a lot of bad sacks. There was one play where he could have threw it away, and he just took a slide. He's losing tons of yards like that. You know, he had A.J. Brown open a lot, missed him. He had Calcaterra open over the middle, missed him. He had a lot of guys open, missed him. Didn't even throw it.
So
Bad,
So we got Spectre checking in. How did the Eagles almost lose to the Panthers, bro? Listen, that's basically same question I just asked Will. Why was this game so close? Thank you for checking in, by the way.
They have been playing well, though, the Panthers. To be fair, they've had some close games. It's not like we're the only team that they almost shocked. They almost shocked the Chiefs.
Which, I mean, you know, they're not playing up to their level of football, at least in my opinion. They're kind of winning games like we were winning games last year, right before everything fell apart. So, in that regard, could this have been a letdown week? Did I have people like Justin McNulty, friend of the show, who ever so gently put it to me on Saturday that it was going to be an upset and the Eagles were going to lose?
Wow.
But Norm, co-founder of Cole County Entertainment, also said the same thing. And I can't sit here and say that I didn't feel. It's not that I didn't feel confident that they could win, but I absolutely felt like, I mean, if there was ever a trap game in between Baltimore and Pittsburgh, the Carolina Panthers were it.
Well, I said this on the show for years that we talk about. Those teams play us like it's a Super Bowl. So when we're playing that Carolina team, yeah, it looks like a close game. We still pulled it off. That's a good victory because it was a trap game. And they're playing us like it's a Super Bowl. They want to prove that they have talent for next year to go into the draft and build up from the spots that they missed on this. I'm telling you, they're a talented team. They'll be surprised next year if they're like 500, a little bit above.
I wouldn't disagree. I feel like we get everybody's best punch, and it's been that way for, I don't know, the better part of a decade, and then I don't know, maybe the better part of 20 years. I mean, the Eagles have been relevant, unlike some other teams in the NFC East that are just coming into their own.
Right. Since Nick Foles won that Super Bowl, after that, no team in the NFL wants us to win the Super Bowl. We're still hated for that. We're hated that we took a shit on Brady. You know, the NFL wanted to have another Super Bowl and all that, and we have a backup quarterback that comes in after our starting quarterback was going to win MVP. So,
look, do you remember the all-out war you and I waged on each other between Carson Wentz and Nick Foles? You wanted Nick Foles. You wanted Wentz out of there at that point, and I wanted Carson. Well, I'm like, dude, the guy. Look at where he took us to. So, Willy Guns and I can get into it. We can get a little fiery sometimes.
But then Jadeveon Clowney ruined that because Wentz he wasn't looking great in that game when he went down against Seattle. It was Seattle, right?
Yep.
So when he went down in that game, I was all for Wentz, man, because I'm always going to back my team up. And
right.
he was starting to make good throws. He was scrambling. Just that's it. That's the Philadelphia, story that always goes on with us. Injuries plague us all the time.
The Clowney hit, which, I mean, some people say it's football. Some people say it was a cheap shot, whatever. I mean, it was pretty obvious what it was. But he was never right after that. Yeah, no. Carson Wentz was never right after that. And, like, I was all about the Ginger Dream. I was all about Carson Wentz. And then here comes this kid, Jalen Hurts, getting taken out of what? Not a national champion. Was it a national championship game that he got benched for? It was a national championship game, and then
Tua came in, right? Was it Tua that came in?
I believe so. And then and now look at him. The thing that kind of worries me the most when he goes through his progressions, his field vision isn't where I think now. I mean, he's not Drew Brees tall, but I mean, how tall is Hurts? 6 foot?
6'1" maybe.
If he, well, I mean, it doesn't help that like the average height on his O line is like 5'4" and a half or 6'4.5". So
yeah, but he's missing open guys though. I don't know if it's handling the blitz. Yeah,
he's missing wide open guys, and it's obvious that he is not kind of going through all the way through his progressions quick enough. It's like his Vincent.
I mean, do you think that we might just have?
Oh yeah, I'll get there. We have time. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that we might just have too much talent and too many guys are so talented that they want the ball, like Smitty, AJ Brown? I mean, Calcaterra was going to have to get it because he's replacing Goddard. Tight ends are important, and he was trying to get it to everybody. He's trying to spread the ball around, but you got to get it to AJ Brown. You have to get it to him. And I know a lot of people are upset with A.J. Brown right now. That's a big story in Philly. But come on, man. I'd be pissed off too. Think about it. He has incentives on his fucking contracts. Do people realize that? Do people realize that? Oh, if he gets, I don't know his fucking contract, but what if you get 10? What if you get plus 10 touchdowns and you get like a $250,000 bonus? Okay. Oh, yeah. Athletes don't need money. We don't give it. Listen, it's still there. He still could win that money. Like Saquon's getting all of his. Saquon's getting all of his fucking bonuses, bro. You know what I'm saying? Brown getting shit.
Yes, Saquon might be getting some of Hurts' bonuses.
Yeah. No, Hurts is getting those fucking rushing touchdowns, dude. I actually am thinking about putting a bet on DraftKings Sportsbook for Hurts to win to have the most rushing touchdowns in the season. Like right now, he's close. He's close, dude.
What is he? Right, he's right behind Vic and Cam Newton, right?
I think he's yeah.
Or is it Newton and Josh Allen?
I was talking about just in general, rushing touchdowns in one season, not for a quarterback.
Just in general.
Just to lead to NFL. He's getting there, dude. He's there. And he's going to get it. I mean, he's almost going to probably get a rushing touchdown every game after this. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. The tush push is fucking insane. It can't be stopped. Why don't we just hand the ball off to Barkley, first down, up the middle, get like 4 or 5 yards, do a fucking tush push, 2 straight downs. You got the first down. Fuck throwing the ball. Fuck AJ Brown. Trade him. Get rid of all the receivers. Just get people to get fucking push to fucking line. That's it.
The tush push, like the what's the percentage of success rate? It's like
85.
Is it 85? I thought it was higher than that.
It was at one time. They missed it a few times.
Yeah. All right.
But it got way better because now Jalen don't go right away. He watches them move, and then he sees where, like, it kind of dips down, and that's where he goes.
Yeah, he sees his openings, and he takes advantage of it. Are injuries starting to creep up on this team? Are you getting nervous about injuries? Because it seems like each week, key player, usually on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been a lot in the secondary. Somebody seeming to go down. I mean, CJ played some warrior football this past Sunday. He was writhing in pain, laying on the field, writhing in pain, and he barely missed a beat. Came back out. It looks like we'll get. It looks like we should get Blankenship back next week, but I'm starting to get a little nervous about the injuries in the secondary. We're thin, but rookies are stepping up. We were talking about it last week. I mean, how are you feeling about the injuries in general, but specifically in the secondary right now?
Next man up mentality, but I think if you have too many, you're going to get exploited. You're going to get really exploited. And Thielen had a really good game on us, man.
Oh, that's on my checklist. It was baptism under fire for young Cooper DeJean, man.
I knew Thielen was going to do something though. because he is a veteran wide receiver. And at one time, he was one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Yes, he was. As they said on the broadcast, a savvy vet. And Cooper DeJean, he was you're gonna learn today, young man.
In fact, he would be a good pickup. Like if Carolina wasn't able to hold on to Thielen, that's a good pickup.
Like a wide receiver 4?
Yeah.
3?
That's the issue we have. That's why Jalen can't get the ball to Brown all the time and Smitty, is because he's scared that he's going to throw it to the number 1 corner or the number 2 corner and throw a pick. Why do you think he's only thrown 5 so far? He's scared. He's scared to throw that football down the field too much, bro. He's scared.
7-7 Cowboys Bengals now on Monday Night Football.
What
were the tutties there, Norman? Who scored? Not MD.
I don't do that no more, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I could coerce you into doing it again.
Jason City.
Don't start that game again, dude. Don't even start that game again.
We'll have to explain to listeners at some point what MD stands for and how it all became to be, but that'll be for another program.
Somebody can pop up in the comments if they want and say what MD is. I'm all for it.
No bias at all. Who's winning Sunday, Eagles or Steelers? I was saving that for later in the show, but we could jump into predictions right now. Will, why does your face look like that? You better wipe that look off your face.
Steelers are tough, dude. You just struggled against Carolina. You play like that against the Steelers, man.
But I mean, yeah, you struggled against Carolina, but you these slow starts are killing me. If the Eagles don't start slow, I don't see them losing to anybody.
I don't think you should start the game out with RPO, man. I think you should start the game out with a handoff, pass the ball. Real handoff, pass the ball. Or run it 3 straight fucking downs. Get that first down, get the team going, throw a screen, get Jalen a fucking completion. Like, I don't understand the fundamentals that we can't fucking get going. You got all this talent on the offense, and yet you're not fucking utilizing it. If you're lucky, you got Barkley. If we didn't have Barkley, dude, I don't know what the fuck our record would be.
Well, like literally, you could hand me a can of corn behind that O-line, and I would probably gain a few yards a run. All right, maybe not a few yards.
And a lot of times, Jalen on those RPOs, he just got to give it to Barkley, man. He just got to give it to him. Let the dude fucking eat. You know, if he doesn't win this rushing, like if he doesn't break the record, it's fucking Jalen's fault. It's Jalen's fault if he doesn't break the record.
What is Eric Dickerson's single season rushing yards?
2152.
Is it? That's a. If you pull that, Norm's looking it up. If you, our intel department is looking it up currently.
I'm usually off by a little, but
if you pulled that number out of 2105, close. Right. So he's at what 1652 right now. He's at 1652. He has 4 games left.
Mm-hmm.
If he, so theoretically, it doesn't, 400-yard games will put him just under it.
Norm, can you pull up?
He's at 1623
rushing defense. Okay, 1623. Could you pull up Pittsburgh's rushing defense? That's important. I didn't really check on that, to be honest with you. I know they have a fucking good defense.
Their defensive general's good, and every Mike Tomlin Steelers team. I mean, the guy's been, 18 years? He's never had a losing season? That's the most ridiculous stat I might have ever heard.
You know what, though? He has dropped games before.
Yes, he has.
Been out-coached before.
Norm and I were talking. The Pittsburgh Steelers in 55 years had 3 head coaches. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. It's crazy. Inspector, to answer your question, I like the Eagles this Sunday to bounce back from a close game against Carolina. And this is not going to be an easy task, but neither was Baltimore. Okay?
Are we getting Goddard back?
I haven't checked on that yet. I don't know.
That's all important. You think you can beat Pittsburgh with fucking Calcaterra out there?
I don't know. Calcaterra got his first NFL touchdown this past week.
I know, right? But I think that and it was nice that they got the ball to him and everything, dude. But you got to get it to your stars. That builds the locker room up. It really does.
When you involve AJ Brown in the offense early in the game, you keep the defense honest, and they have to play man because they have to respect the fact that you could hand it off to Saquon, hit him out of the backfield. Their wide receiver 2 was one of the best wide receiver 2s in football, hands down. And if Goddard's back this week, you got a top 5 to 7 tight end in the league. Like the weapons on offense are as good as this team's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot just hand the ball off. You have to spread it around.
Clock management's going to be important against Pittsburgh.
Spectre said if Barkley gets the ball and locks in, I think we got it. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he has 400-yard games, that puts him at 2023, if I'm correct.
I think he has to have a big – if he shoots out of the gate in this game and has like a 130 to 150 yards on Pittsburgh,
91 yards
that's a
rushing.
guaranteed win. That's a guaranteed win. If
So
he
where's that
goes
put
over
them?
100 yards against Pittsburgh, Tom, I would say that's
Third
a guaranteed
overall?
win.
Pittsburgh's defense is ranked 3rd overall in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's going to be – but you know what? Where was Baltimore's too? Now, obviously, their pass defense, they had holes in their secondary, but their run defense was tough, and Saquon still put up numbers. And they put up better numbers than Henry did. So
Did they put the line out for the game yet? See if you pull that one up too. What's the line on the game?
But yeah, I think Spectre, I think you're right. If he has just 4 100-yard rushing games, which if he's trending to have at least that, he would put him just shy of the record. I think he has a few games 120 plus. I think he might get, I mean, he's as close as any back I've seen in recent years to getting it with 4 games left.
Oh my God. I just hope that he's not like fucked at the end
Eagles?
of the year to where we don't need the last game. Like if we don't need the last game, if we don't need to win that last game at all, because maybe Detroit didn't lose or whatever.
Right.
Then I mean, a lot of times Barkley might only play the first half. He might not even play.
Right.
And I know him. He would do that. He would do that. I know him.
5-point favorite, Will. Eagles are 5-point favorite this week.
Wow. That's respect right there, bro. Even after that shitty game we just played against Carolina.
I'm pretty sure Vegas saw that as a trap game.
Wait. Cincinnati gave Pittsburgh a damn really good game. So did Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know, so they can't. Pittsburgh is not a perfect team either, man. They're not even close to it.
No,
is Pickens playing? Pickens hasn't been really healthy lately, has he? No.
Yeah, Norm said yeah. So
it's going to be a tough one regardless, but I trust our secondary. That's why I always think we're going to win, and our pass rush. I think our pass rush is going to get to Russell Wilson. They're going to get to him.
How good is Jalen Carter?
I mean, man, he's in there every single down. He's getting held all the time. He's a defensive player of the year nominee, definitely.
So you and I were young, but we were still watching the Eagles when Reggie played and Jerome played.
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Brown and Jalen Carter are like spitting images of each other as far as their style of play, how disruptive they are, and where you have to allocate offensive linemen in order to defend them or block them. Watching a couple of Jalen Carter highlight videos, just, you go down rabbit holes. And I'm watching them. You remember the play where he dove in? Who was it? Was it Mahomes that was spiking the ball that he almost caught it? I don't remember who.
Yeah. He tried to do something that I try to do in Madden all the time, and I have done it, but they still ruled it like an incomplete pass or whatever.
A play like that. I mean, this kid is double teamed on like 78% of the plays. 78% of the times he has 2 hats on him.
He should have been the number 1 pick, but they said because of behavior and really bad conduct.
This what I do like about the Eagles. One of my favorite things is they are not afraid to take a flyer on somebody that may be questionable or have questionable character, because they feel like the character in that locker room and the character throughout that clubhouse is strong enough to, even steer some people in the wrong direction. Like, back when we brought Tio in, Tio was a superstar, but he had baggage. I mean, everybody remembers sit-ups in the driveway.
I think sometimes you need some of that attitude or whatever, but it's how Tio handles it, and he didn't handle it well. He did not handle it well. And neither did McNabb. McNabb didn't fucking handle it well at all.
I still
Hugh
think
Douglas was it Hugh Douglas?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
he
was
didn't handle.
Hugh Douglas when they were in the they were in like the ice bath or whatever, getting treatment after a game, I think, or after a practice, and they went at it. Hugh Douglas will tell you, listen to him on the on WIP all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But as far as Jalen Carter goes, we might be watching the second best defensive lineman in the history of this team when it's all said and done. Now, right now, we're watching, and the longest tenured Philadelphia Eagle ever, and unfortunately, he's on the sideline now. But watching Brandon Graham,
Yeah.
Earl Thomas gets drafted, and everybody went insane. My man checking in, Paul Spencer. What's up, buddy? Hate saying it, but the Eagles are playing some ball. Great to see the man back on the airways. Paul, I appreciate you, brother. And
thank you, Paul.
You guys know Paul Spencer's network over there, Out of the Box Sports. They always got great shows going on over there. Paul has them 215 Boys show for you Cowboys fans out there, and we'll definitely be doing some cross promoting with Paul and his network and my man Cowboy Dave and everybody for sure.
Yeah,
But
Willy Guns is back, bitch.
I do appreciate the Eagles' love too, Paul. With Guns, you're out of your mind. But yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I give Jalen Carter. I wanted to give that kid his roses because I watched an interview that was from years ago, and it was like some of the greatest defensive players of all time were sitting at a round table. It was Ray Lewis. It was Ray Lewis. It was Lawrence Taylor, Ed Reed, and a couple other guys. Appreciate you too, Paul, always, my friend. And I hope all is well. And Lawrence Taylor said, people say that I was the greatest player of all time, but Reggie White, he said, I say Reggie White was the greatest player of all time. And I get chills thinking of the comparison between a Jalen Carter and Reggie White, a Jalen Carter and Jerome Brown, because that 91 Eagles defense was the second best overall defense in NFL history. And if I'm looking at a player and comparing him to someone off of an all-time team, we're heading in the right direction for sure. And Jordan Davis is another one, man. If that kid, if he sticks with his training and he sticks with, we're golden for the next decade. At those inside positions on the D line.
Yeah, Parsons was pissed off when we got Carter.
Yeah, and
absolutely pissed off.
I still think
his podcast is hot. His podcast is fire, bro.
Norm thinks Parsons going to the Commanders. I don't know.
I mean, he can hope for it, but I think he's coming here.
I would love it. I mean, if he's not going against Lane Johnson, he's actually pretty good. When he's going against Lane Johnson, he just gets neutralized.
Imagine him and Jalen Carter on the same line.
And who's starting to come around? Nolan Smith is starting to look like a player.
That's my boy. I've been talking about him a lot, man. Nolan Smith. He's getting better and better and better, and he actually is like a Parsons type of pass rusher. I think he's got to get his strength up a little more.
Get his weight up a little bit. He's got to get his weight up a little bit.
And he has to get his finesse moves up too. Yeah. He sometimes, and a lot of times, if you run the ball to the outside, his footwork's got to change. He's got to be able to shift better.
Yeah. His lateral movement could stand to improve. But look, as far as the defense goes, they're young. Sky's the limit. I mean, young names are riddled throughout this defense. CJ GJ's a vet, and he's only in the league, 4 or 5 years, right? Something like that.
He's a smart player.
Slay is your and Slay and Brandon Graham were your resident old timers on the defense. Other than that, man,
I think if you have Slay out there in that game, I think that the young guys might have gotten hit with a good scheme from Carolina.
Could be.
They might have had more passing yards and possibly might have pulled an upset. But Slay was out there balling, bro.
You know who I like a lot is Vic Fangio. And a lot of people said he was washed up. A lot of people say, oh, he didn't get along with anybody in Miami and they didn't like the scheme and everything like that. Had a bunch of hot doggers in Miami is what it sounds like. People who didn't want to be coached, people who didn't want to listen to an authority figure tell a multi-million-dollar player what to do. But I don't know. The Eagles locker room's different. At least it seems different this year.
Defensive play calling has been phenomenal. I've had no problem with the defense, not at all. I struggle with the offense because of the poor play calling and Jalen's decisions.
I don't even think it's poor play calling, Will. I just don't think he's going through his
He's not
progressions.
reading, yeah.
And that's so on a learning curve. I feel like some people
I don't
have
like
a short,
RPO. That's why I say play calling. I think you could throw it in there as a trick play.
RPO.
RPO used to be a trick play. That's what it first started out as. It would only be called maybe 3 or 4 times a game in crazy situations where nobody could get separation. So they're going to act like they're handing off to the running back, make the defensive line push towards them without any kind of just straight going for a running back. And then the quarterback has a quick throw.
Right.
And that's what should happen. But Jalen takes too friggin' long with his RPOs. Like way too long. Take off, bro. If you're handed to Barkley, you see him already coming, don't even try to act like you're handed to Barkley. Take the fuck off or throw it.
Norm's laughing over here because it's some of the same. Hold on, what do we got? Oh, no.
What's up?
Seeing these two back in the studio does justice for the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. Subscribe and always know when TK and Willy Guns are live. Appreciate you, man.
Damn, that's nice, man.
Very
Appreciate that. One step at a time. One step at a time.
Absolutely. And you know, we're here doing our thing. We're going to be here every week, every Monday night. You know, we'll be putting some live shows together, and we'll be trying to get out there and get amongst the people and kind of get in front of everybody. We're just getting our feet back under us. We've been on a bit of a hiatus for a while, Will and I. But I mean, anybody who 2 more subs till 70. So we need a couple more subscriptions on YouTube to hit 70. Appreciate you, Spectre, out there for sure.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm telling you right now.
I'll create 2. How many YouTube accounts do I got to create? Just 2? I got that shit.
Oh my God, you're wild.
I got plenty of emails.
I know somebody who's got some burner YouTube accounts that might be able to help us out too. So, we hit a lot of stuff off the back end of my list here, which is fine by me.
That's what we always do.
Well, you know how it goes.
We don't have any other guys in here that are just throwing around bullshit, you know?
Oh God, don't do it. Don't do it, Will.
Look at this. Is that Norm laughing? I cracked Norm out.
So the Birds locked up a playoff spot this Sunday, which it's kind of nice sitting here, you know, week 13 going into week 14, having a playoff spot locked up. Are you resting guys if you're not coming out of second? Let's say Minnesota falls off.
Detroit still only has 1 loss, so you're a chaser. So you want that 1 seed. You want it. You want the 1 seed. I want it. I'm not going to sit there and not want that 1 seed. Isn't Detroit playing Buffalo, though? But did they play Buffalo, I think?
I hope so. That would be phenomenal. How about a barn burner last night with Buffalo and the Rams? Did you catch any of that game?
Yeah, I walked by the TV, and I'm like, yo, the Rams might pull this off. And
they did. And now, so you got all those teams down there in that mush pot of 8-5, 7-6. You know, what is it? The Rams are down there. The Commanders are down there. Arizona's down there. We should chase the Lions spot, in my opinion. I totally agree.
There you go. I would sub more. I mean, if we're winning games like
next week,
I would sub in guys more. I wouldn't like overplay it if like it's getting out of hand. Like if we're really handling the team well, because at the end of the year, some of those teams are trying to lose. Like they don't care. Like they're not going to sit there and play you like it's a Super Bowl.
Like the Giants. What a dumpster.
You know what's going to be probably a tough game is that Dallas game.
Yes, it is. It's the second time we're seeing them.
It's on their calendar, man.
It's Cooper Rush having at that point 4 or 5 games under his belt coming into the link. What's nice is now I think do we play Pittsburgh away? Do we play Pittsburgh Steelers at Eagles? It looks like. So we don't have the only. I think the rest of our games are home games, or there's one. I think we play the Commanders in Washington.
That's going to be a tough one too.
Or the Giants in New York. Look, the Eagles aren't traveling far from the link for the next 4 games. That's for sure.
Oh man, that's gonna be a tough game too, dude. It's not gonna be an easy run, bro. I'll tell you right now. That's why you can't sit your starters and shit. It's not gonna be an easy run. It's not. And I want my guys going into the playoffs knowing that they whooped all those teams' asses. Right? What happens every time? Every time we drop games at the end of the year, we don't do shit in the playoffs, man. It doesn't really happen like that. I never liked that.
What I was thinking was more along the lines of, what if there's 2 games left and you can't improve where you're at? You can't gain any more ground on any teams. What do you do then?
Then you got to sit starters.
Now, is Saquon one of the ones you sit? Because if you sit anybody on that O line, it's
he could get mauled bad and get hurt. And you don't want him get hurt. You need him for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
it sucks that certain times that happens to players in the NFL. Happens a lot. Like
Norm, you just made Norm choke over here because you said Super Bowl. There are a couple. We would have to win 2 games in the playoffs in order to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting flipped off by Sabrina because we're Eagles fans, and it's okay. I understand.
Listen, you get that 1 seed. It's great. It really is. And our home field advantage, obviously, you saw Carolina. They were struggling out there to hear anything.
Yeah.
That's why I was impressed that they even had any kind of offense going. But Bryce Young, he showed up, bro. He played a good game. In fact, he looked more accurate in that game than Jalen looked.
Well,
Jalen gets the dub, though. Jalen gets the dub. That's what he does. He does nothing but win. It's not pretty, but he wins.
Well, real quick, before we go any further, I just want to let everybody know that today's show is brought to you by the Copper Creek Taxidermy. Nestled in the heart of St. Clair, PA, their studio is a sanctuary where the beauty of the wild is captured and cherished forever. Led by renowned taxidermist Vincent Alessi, they are dedicated to bringing your vision to life with unparalleled craftsmanship and respect for nature. Whether you're an avid hunter, a collector, or someone who appreciates the intricate art of taxidermy, you have come to the right place. Experience the fusion of art and nature at the Copper Creek Taxidermy, where every piece tells a story. Reach out to owner-operator Vincent Alessi at 570-527-7971 and make sure you tell him the fellas over at Pattison Ave Phanatics Show sent you. The Copper Creek Taxidermy. Live wild.
Tell him Willy Guns sent you.
Willy Guns sent you with his cats.
The Willy Guns and TK show.
We already, I already got my man Will. He's got some projects for you once down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you hear back into this bird thing? Did you hear the interview after the game with AJ Brown?
Oh man.
And does that concern you?
I mean, like I said at the beginning, he has a slight point because
it's more than a slight point.
It's a business. And if you're going to sit there and be a number 1 wide receiver and get paid top dollar, and then the team sees your stats like that and Jalen's not getting you the ball, why even keep me? So now his job's in jeopardy, and he's going to have to go to another fucking team that he don't want to be on because he's happy with Philadelphia, but because Jalen ain't getting the fucking ball, we're going to sit there and look at it like, hey, well, he ain't scoring. He's not doing anything. Guess what? We don't need him. And that's what happens when a quarterback doesn't get a guy the ball, dude.
It's not the case. I would get rid of Hurts before I got rid of AJ Brown personally. Spectre says the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl would be legendary, but he doesn't think the Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl. I honestly think it's going to be Buffalo this year, probably. They seem to be the hot team here, roaring into the end of the season.
Just lost to the Rams, though.
Well, Baltimore, Buffalo. Baltimore, Buffalo, maybe the Steelers. We'll see. We'll see what happens this week. But yeah, back to AJ Brown. That makes me nervous.
Right.
Makes me
guess
nervous.
what team's good in the NFC is that Vikings team.
Dude,
that Vikings team's good.
Are you kidding me? Sam freaking Darnold.
He's doing
Sam Darnold, dude. Oh my God.
What's funny is everybody thinks
he looks like Montana. He looks like Montana. He looks more like Steve Young than Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Running all over the place. Sam Darnold.
He's lighting it up, bro. He's lighting it up.
Buffalo and Eagles, then Bills lost to every NFC East team in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, we're not worried about the Bills if they go to the Super Bowl. That's like a fucking guarantee.
Well, those. Oh my! Please don't. I'm all about good juju, and I'm not trying to. But those early '90s Buffalo Bills teams, no heartbreak that we'll never know.
Yeah, it sucks
Ever.
to be a Bills fan, man. That's gotta suck.
The,
That's really gotta suck.
think about it. You lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. The NFC East owns your ass.
And
Cowboys twice, Giants once, Redskins once.
And we lost 3 NFC championships, right?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So, do you remember years ago when we were watching the games together and I said we were the Buffalo Bills of the NFC Championship?
Yes, sir.
And there you go.
That's us, man. That's
like I said, winding down this season, the Eagles and Bills are playing as good as anybody in their conference.
I want the Chiefs, though. I'd rather face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
So
I want my rematch.
I want my rematch.
I want my history.
I want to blow the barn doors off of the Kansas City.
Because I was screaming when we lost. I was like, we're gonna get them back, man. We're gonna see them 2 back in the Super Bowl again.
So we got our revenge on the Patriots. Wouldn't it be just fitting if we ended up doing the same thing to the Chiefs this year? However, we still have 4 games left in this regular season where anything could happen, and then you would need, in order to go there, you would need to win minimum of 2 games in the playoffs in order to get to the Super Bowl. So I don't want to talk Super Bowl yet. At least I'm not going. I know you will.
I mean, Jalen looked good running the football, though. I will say that. It was nice to see him run the football. It was nice.
So, again, Norm and I are watching a game this weekend. When he climbs the pocket, it opens up his options. When he tries to get outside, the edge rushers in this league are too fast anymore. When he tries to just drop back and roll outside, unless it's a design play to do that, if his pass protection breaks down, if he's not when he climbs the pocket, I feel like the entire field opens up for him, because now you have both the second and third level in their defense they got to be honest, because Jalen can run. But if it feels like when he's flushed, and especially when he's flushed out to that left side, out of the pocket is where he's running into a lot of problems. And to your point, what you were talking about, the one where he slid when he could have easily thrown the ball out of bounds again. Now, however, I didn't see anybody downfield. Could have been an intentional grounding call, but that was maddening to me. So any other time you throw a friggin' ball out of bounds. This time you decide to slide 6 yards back in the started.
Yeah, that really pissed me off, dude. And that really, after that, he didn't look good at all in the game, except he had that one big run up the middle that was huge. He took rushing yards away from Barkley.
Yes, he did.
I mean, come on, man, just hand the ball off to him, bro. You don't got to do anything, man. That dude gets yards. He averages over 5 yards a carry, right? It's ridiculous. He's almost at 6 yards a carry or something, isn't he?
I don't know.
Pull that bad boy up. I'm telling you, he averages a lot. So if you just give him the ball 2 straight times, all you got to do, Jalen, is throw the ball 1 time after that to get a first down. That's it.
6.1 yards per carry.
Thank you.
Our resident Sports Insider Norm Deal on the case.
Well, stats are important, man. You got to bring up stats. That's, the guy's averaging 6 yards a carry. Hand the fucking ball off to him.
Like Norm has no problem looking stuff up where other
screens.
I
want to see more screens. I want to see more guys in motion. Yeah, other people used to get mad at me about that. Yeah. Well, you check it yourself. No name dropping. You check it yourself. What?
Thank you. We hit 70, so we had 70 followers on YouTube.
Wow!
Thank you.
Wow.
To all of those wonderful people out there.
Next stop, 100.
Next stop, 100. Right. So let's get there.
Next stop, 1 million.
Next stop, 1 million. Norm says.
Never know.
We got to get to 100 before you get to 1 million.
Got to start bringing on guests eventually.
Oh,
that's in the works.
There's absolute friends of the show, just to put it out there for everybody.
There you go.
And I was talking to Noah. I wanted to get our feet back under us, because let's be honest, it's been over a year since either one of us has done any kind of show. Almost 2 years, in fact. So we wanted to get our feet back under us. It's a 2-man show. It's not a 4-man or a 5-man show, which we are accustomed to kind of being on. So, the dynamic changes a little bit, but not a whole lot. So we're, like I said, we're getting our feet back under us, but there's some friends of the Pattison Ave Phanatics that I'll be in touch with soon. Some of you out there know who you are. That I'm looking forward to collaborating with, and
reach out to us, guys.
Yeah.
If you go and watch it, reach out to us.
Hey,
you're more than welcome.
Look, I'm always available to jump on with anybody. There's nobody out there that I think I would snub.
Right.
So,
and we'll go on other shows too. It's all good.
Dude, you blew through. I don't know how you do it. You do it every time. Every single time I think I'm good, Willy Guns. Nope. You pull from the back of my show prep every single friggin' time.
Every time.
So, Eagles Steelers. Now I said predictions for the game. I said I think the Eagles win and maybe another squeaker. How about you?
24-21.
Birds?
Yeah. All
right. I like it.
It sucks though, because I'm giving us a field goal, but fucking Elliott's been missing them, man. I don't know. I was almost afraid to say 24.
Yeah, you almost want to go. You almost want to go even numbers.
I almost do. No, you know what? Fuck it. 28-24. 28-24 Eagles, and we go for it on 4th down because we don't trust Elliott.
So I'm thinking the defense is going to put a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. I'm not fully aware of what the O-line for Pittsburgh is, but I have a feeling the defense is going to kind of wreak some havoc. And with the defense, I'm not sure our numbers, somewhere like 15 to 18 points we're allowing a game. So me personally, I'm going to go Birds 28-13 Eagles.
Ooh, I'll take that, obviously.
Yes.
But it could be a super low scoring game, dude. It could be like a friggin' 17 to friggin' 14 or 19-17, like how the Chiefs have some games or whatever. Like it could be a low scoring game, or it could be a fucking shootout. Because Pittsburgh's secondary isn't great. They're not great. I've seen them get lit up quite a few times.
Norm says kickers all around the league are having problems. Nothing is automatic anymore. I agree. I echoed that sentiment this past Sunday. What is going on with the kickers in the NFL?
Might be that football. And maybe they change that football. I don't know.
And we're talking money kickers. Tucker, Elliott, the Commander's kicker who's escaping me, but he was money. I don't know. Something's going on in the NFL that these kickers are just, I don't want to say choking, but
extra points are constantly getting missed, or are they shaving points? Sometimes I'm always a fan of the NFL just likes to do their thing, and sports betting is getting huge right now. So, yeah.
14. Spectre says 14-10 Eagles. It's low scoring game because both of their defenses are good.
Yes, they are. But I think we could throw them if Jalen just friggin' gets the ball to our stars.
I just think it's really difficult. Even with Hurts, it's like it hurts once he starts getting out of his own way. The Eagles have too many weapons.
That's going to be a line of
scrimmage. Honestly, for any defense in this league, me personally, that's my opinion.
No, Najee Harris ain't a bad running back. So
no,
we handled Derrick Henry well. So I think it's going to be Barkley. I think Barkley's going to do it again. Barkley's going to carry this team. He's going to do it, and the defense. Barkley and the defense. Jalen is just game managing right now. He's really not the guy that's winning these games, bro. He really isn't.
Why aren't they constantly the first 2, 3, 4, 6 play? Why are you not handing all? Now I know you don't want to gas the poor guy, but in the beginning of the game, I'm like, why? Just why? I find myself constantly saying that, and it's like we're 10-2. We're tied for the second best record in the conference. Yet I'm still finding reasons to bitch. Now I understand that might be the MO of most Eagles fans. However, Why are you not handing the ball off more in the beginning of the game to Saquon Barkley? Why does my thing keep going in and out like that too? My face keeps getting fuzzy.
I don't know, dude, but I think that if you could get up 7-0 at the beginning of the game,
Wow.
and like how powerful we are,
Go figure.
It changes everything.
It literally changes how it changes how the defense has to play you. And then in that turn, switching out Gainwell, I mean, yes, he's an obvious drop-off from Saquon Barkley, but Gainwell runs pretty well behind this line.
Tell you what, you're also lucky that your defense, after you're not scoring any points in the first quarter, is holding teams under that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're lucky that your defense is helping you there. Because if your offense ain't putting up shit in the first quarter, you could be down 10-0. You could be down 7-0, 6-0.
That's my thing too. There's several 3-and-outs that start these games.
Disgusting.
It's maddening. It's maddening. And I just shake my head. And after the game, Norm looked at me and he was like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, you're 10-2 and you're looking nervous." I'm like, "Dude, I'm like this after every single Eagles game I've ever watched. I'm unless it's just a clear-cut blowout."
I think they said that most of Barkley's yards come in the second half. Like, yes, a dominant amount. He's already got over 1,000 yards rushing in the second half. They said on the broadcast on Sunday his second half yards are enough for 4th place in the NFL. That's disgusting. I did
just
see that.
His second half yards.
That's 978 when he did that, because I do remember that.
Yeah, that in and of itself, that stat is crazy.
Now, put that stat in the first half. That's all you got to do. Get him more yards in the first half, dude. That's all you got to do.
And then you can coast in the second half. It would be nice for a change to coast in the second half.
You're riding that defense, bro. That's what you're doing, and it's nice. I love defense. Don't get me wrong, but you gotta fucking help him out a little, man. You gotta help him out a little bit.
I would feel remiss if I didn't bring up in the last 10 or so minutes we have here in the show. I would feel remiss if I didn't bring up, speaking of Saquon Barkley, this past Sunday, he passed 2 Eagles legends.
Oh, yes.
In Wilbert Montgomery and Shady McCoy to become the all-time, rushing yards for a season for an Eagle. And he has 4 games left. 4 games left.
And he gets all of his yards in the second half. A lot of them, the majority of them. So give him some of that first half. He could shatter that record.
If you get him going downhill in the first quarter and a half, can you imagine the numbers that he would put up? Because you're going to hand it to him later in the game, because you're most likely going to be playing with a lead, and then you're going to be handing the ball off anyway. He had a 255-yard game rushing against not Baltimore. Who did we play the week before Baltimore?
Giants, right?
No.
He had a lot of yards against the Giants. I know that.
Well, he had I don't know. He had a monster game, and I'm thinking to myself, if you get this guy going, like I said, in the first quarter and a half of football, then the last quarter and a half of football, he's running downhill the rest of the game.
Yeah, and the other team's defensive line is gassed, and that's where Barkley gets a lot of his yards. Beginning of the game, those guys are pushing our offensive line a little more. But late in the game, our offensive line.
Got to put him over or right there. Right now, he's on target for 21-22. I believe the record is 21-05? Yes. So right now, he's on target to beat the NFL all-time rushing record that Eric Dickerson set by 17 yards. He's on pace for that if he just keeps up his average. Now, he has an opportunity in the next game or two. Like, you're playing the Giants, dude. You don't think this guy is going to be a superhuman going against that team again?
He might get 200 yards on the Giants. He might get 200 yards.
He has the opportunity to put up big numbers over the next 4 games. It's going to be tough against Pittsburgh. Again, Norman said their overall defense are third in the NFL overall. But all right, so let me ask you this question. Now, you and I have lived through Ricky Waters, and we lived through Brian Westbrook. We lived through Shady McCoy. We lived through a lot of these running backs. Is Saquon Barkley – now, you have to factor in the O-line too. Is Saquon Barkley the best running back this team's ever had after 14 games?
Yes,
You
sir.
think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Shady. Shady was really nice.
If
But
he gets
Barkley's different.
close, Norm asks, do you think they will sit him or let him chase it? I
think
say
they'll
you
let
got.
him. I think they'll
I
let
say
him
you
make
got
his
to let
own
him go for it.
choice. And I think you
Yeah,
should let him go for it. It's good for the city itself. That is really good for our team to have that. That we have a guy that broke an old ass record. You know what I mean? An old record. Like this is
if
the
he
new
breaks
age.
if he breaks Dickerson's record, is he a lock for MVP?
He should be.
Excuse
He
me.
really should be. I mean, if he gets snubbed on that, that's fucking bullshit, dude. There's
It
no
would be kind
way.
of dirty. It would be kind of dirty if he did. If he
You
got
said
snubbed,
he's already fourth in the league in rushing just on his second half.
which is crazy,
That's
dude.
crazy.
It's his just in 2 quarters of football.
And he should have 20 touchdowns, but they do the tush push. You know what I'm saying?
How
Like
many
it's.
touchdowns does he have?
I think he has. Is it 10 or 11?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Our
But I
resident
know he should
statistician.
have so many more though. He should have so many more because he's the reason why Jalen's getting all those 1 yard touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or why not line him up for the tush push?
11 touchdowns.
Why not? There you go. I was off by 1. Well, I was actually on. I gave 2 numbers, so. But why not give Barkley the tush push? Like
I mean, what, are you saying direct snap to him, or are you saying just
have him
put him
lined
behind
up,
center?
Put him behind center, and let him get that fucking 1 yard touchdown, dude.
Let him play with Cam's rear end while he's getting the snap there.
Exactly. Without the tush push right now, Jalen is probably one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL with stats wise.
Yes.
It's fucked up, but it's true.
40 years. The record, Dickerson's record that he got with the Rams has stood for 40 years.
Wow.
This year, in 1984, it's 2024. It's 40,
wow.
40 years.
What team won the Super Bowl that year?
What team won the Super Bowl in 1984? Let me think. Was it the Denver Broncos?
I know what 83 was.
Well, 83 was the Redskins. Norm's a Redskins fan.
Was it the Giants?
Stats Vice.
That's what I always do, bro. That's what I used to do on that when we first started the show. I always was stats. I always talk about stats when this happened, when that happened, because you can't just talk about the same shit over and over again.
Washington. Raiders beat Washington in 1984. So is that the Jim Plunkett led Raiders? Is that who that was? God,
all I got to say is that the fact that Saquon Barkley looked like he was at the end of his career, even though he was a young player in New York like that, and the fact that he rejuvenated his whole career coming here to win a rushing title, that boy can have a movie about this.
So you saw
he get a miracle movie or whatever.
You saw Hard Knocks when the owner of the Giants said, I'm going to have a real hard time sleeping if Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles. Not only is he gone to the Eagles, has he shattered his personal rushing record with 4 games to go, but he has a legit shot at a 40-year-old record.
Right, and nobody cares that he ever played for the Giants. No one cared. No one. You know what? Oh, he was a Giant? That's how it is. Yeah.
I have a feeling
that's where you go for your career to go down. Except Michael Strahan. He got lucky with all of his sacks and shit and Super Bowls with Eli.
I hate that I like Michael Strahan after football.
I like him. I do like him.
But I do. Like the guy's good at what he does, man.
But they're almost turning into like the new Cowboys, you know? But the Cowboys are still always having decent seasons. But the Giants back then, they were
not this season.
They got lucky with that one defense that they won the Super Bowl with.
I got it. You don't have to look it up, Norm.
You know, Eli's got 2 Super Bowls, bro.
You've been crushing.
Eli won 2 Super Bowls for the Giants, so you gotta give them that. But now that's it. They ain't never going back again for a long, long time.
Bengals up 14-10 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter at the 2-minute warning of the half.
Wow.
Bengals up 14-10. Oh, I'd love to see the Cowboys get smacked upside their face. I love it.
That
Go on, Visay, if you're out there.
Right there, they're done. I think that their momentum's just gone after that.
If they lose this game, you mean as far as the rest of the season?
Yeah,
Well,
but Bengals always find a way to lose. The Bengals always find a way to lose.
What are the Cowboys' record?
5, 6, and 7.
Is it 6 and 7?
It's probably one off.
He's probably he probably is one off. Oh, this is gonna be great.
Oh my God!
I gotta see.
Even see, that's why we don't really talk about it until we go on the show, because all this shit, man. This is what I talk about on a regular basis. This has been a question all season. But do you think Barkley will get MVP? Oh man!
So Will and I, like we said a couple of minutes ago, if he breaks the all-time record, I think that makes him a lot.
He needs more touchdowns, though.
You think he needs more tutties? He's at 11 right now.
Needs more, man. Needs more.
How many more do you think he needs?
I think he has to reach about maybe 6.
5 and 7. 5 and 7. You were one off.
Oh my God!
It's like your brain just replaces one number and everything. It's freaking hilarious.
It's like my brain hits me with the asshole button. You know.
So like I said, how many more touchdowns do you think he would need to make it viable?
I'd say get him around 16 to 18 touchdowns. And it's
4
feasible.
games left. You got 4 games left. You got 11. It's possible. You get 16 touchdowns, but you don't break the all-time record. But let's say he eclipses 2,000 yards.
Did Marshall Faulk ever win league MVP?
I don't know.
What was the last running back to win league MVP? Because you got to look at his stats and see there.
Who was the last running back?
Was it Marshall Faulk?
Are you on that one? Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. Okay, what was his stats?
Now, what was his stats for that season?
Yeah, see? This is Will's algorithm.
This is Will's algorithm. Having other people look up his shit for him.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
No, I'm just messing with you.
It's fun. Google me.
That was 2012. That was 12 years ago. Was the last time a running back won, and I'd be interested to see what Peterson's. He had to have been like 1,900 yards and probably 20 tutties.
Yeah, and then you also have to look at the runner-up, because you got to see what his competition was.
True.
You know, because Barkley does have some competition. Like, you know, Joe Burrow isn't, because his team's not winning, but Josh Allen's team is winning. You know,
with the exception of yesterday, but they've been playing good football
but
here.
He's got the stats though. Stats are important, man. They're not going to give you MVP unless you had those touchdowns, bro.
If he falls into the 16 to 18 touchdown range and beats the NFL all-time record, I think he's a lock.
And the Eagles finished the first or second seed.
So he had 348 carries for 2,097 yards and 13 touchdowns in 16 games. 2,097 yards is only 7 yards shy. How would you not give him the ball for 7 more yards?
Wow. That's crazy. I do remember that. He was on fire, dude. He was on fire, man.
If I will go punch someone in their face and take 7 yards.
Yeah, I hope Barkley watches it. If Barkley know that. You got to go take AP out, because he's the last one that won that MVP. You got to do it, Barkley. You got to take him next. Get that 2,097. Take his record out.
Of course you know Saquon watches our show, obviously.
Got to tackle, Bill.
Yeah, 2,093 rushing yards.
Wow, man. That is definitely MVP numbers for a running back.
100%. 100%. Well, look, it's been an awesome hour. I know you got you got some packing to do and some stuff going on tomorrow. So I'm going to let you get to it. I'm going to get to it, but I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We didn't get to our Sixers talk today, but it's okay. It's that time of year. It's birds time.
Just say they're starting to get it together. That's all.
That's exactly what's happening. Embiid's back. They're starting to get it together. We'll definitely dip into some next week. But look, you enjoy your time over the next few days, my man. I'm going to keep an eye on the Philly sports scene. But for Willy Guns and Tom Kelly, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. We're out of here.
Later.
Turn on the sports show tonight. TK's got the energy right. Willy Guns take us to the fight. Pattison Ave rocking the night. It's the Phanatics Sports Hour. Join the crowd and feel the power.